Hello and welcome to Adventures in TV Land. We have another Rambling review, and today's Rambling review is on Captain America, Brave New World. Now, Captain America, Brave New World is the latest film in the MCU franchise. Stars Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, who has inherited the mantle of Captain America. You saw him at the end of Endgame. Older Steve Rogers passing on his shield to Sam Wilson. There was a whole Disney Plus show about Sam Wilson becoming Captain America. You don't have to have seen that show to enjoy the movie, but it will enhance your understanding of some of the events that happen here in the film. The first third of the movie is set up as kind of almost like an espionage type film with Captain America being sent on a secret mission to recover something, an artifact, something he doesn't know exactly what it is, for the U.S. federal government. But then after that first act, things start to unravel and quickly, in all honesty, they quickly fall apart. There's a lot of things in this movie that don't make sense in some ways. Of course, there's a lot in the MCU, especially as of late, that don't make sense anyway. There are a few other characters in this movie that are introduced that, unless you saw the Disney Plus show, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you have no idea who they are. For example, the character of Isaiah Bradley. Bradley was the first African-American Captain America, who was secretly tested upon and then put in jail for most of his life, finally being released and pardoned, and very few people had ever heard of him. In the comic world, he was a fairly recent invention. Actually, he didn't exist before 2003, but he is one of those things that if you had not seen and have not seen the TV show, you will not understand what is occurring, what is happening in the movie. The movie literally begins with the election of General Ross, Thaddeus Ross, as President of the United States. William Hurt originally played General Ross. The character has been recast with Harrison Ford in the role. Is he still the same person he always was? And is he still the same person that he was chasing the Hulk and splitting up the Avengers and everything like that, or has he a changed individual? There's a sneaky suspicion, there's something else going on in the background that you're not aware of what it is. After that first setup, with Ross becoming president, Captain America being sent on this mission, Ross invites Sam Wilson to the White House, tells him he wants to restart the Avengers. Wilson's not for sure how to take that, and something happens and sets off the rest of the events of the movie. It culminates in this final battle between Ross, who turns out to be the Red Hulk, and which I'm not giving anything away, that's all in the trailers and all in the previews, and Sam Wilson. I did not have hardly any expectations for this movie at all. My expectations were very low. I had assumed it was probably not going to be a very good movie to watch. After having seen the movie, I will say that overall the movie is ho-hum. It's better than the worst films in the MCU. It's better than the Eternals. It's better than Ant-Man Quantumania. It's better than the Marvels. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. This movie fully cements Sam Wilson as being the new Captain America, and he's been given the go-ahead to restart the Avengers. And then, of course, you have the introduction of Red Hulk, but that's about it. There's nothing else in this movie that sets anything else up. There's not a whole lot of action. There's really only maybe 3 action sequences all total. The plot of the film, there's this international part of the plot, because Ross is trying to get this peace treaty signed with all the nations of the world, and it ends up Japan and the United States almost go to war. That makes no sense at all. To make it more realistic, the more, believable, it would be China or maybe North Korea, but you can't have China as the bad guys in this film because China is one of the biggest Disney supporters, and so you had to change it with one of the biggest allies of the United States in the Pacific area, Japan, as making them our enemy. That aspect, it didn't kind of sit well with me, and that was done purely because Disney did not want to tick off the Chinese. They wanted to make sure this movie got shown in China so they get some more of that Chinese money coming in. This movie was not shot once. This movie was completely reshot at least one other time, and in addition there were reshoots that are not your typical reshoots for a big budget picture. They reshot this movie a third time, at least 3/4 of the movie. You do kind of get that feeling in this movie that it's kind of hodgepodge hodgepodge together here and there. It seems like at the beginning they had a storyline they were kind of going for, falls apart really after that first act. In terms of acting, I don't have any complaints in that regard. Harrison Ford, he's been phoning a lot of movie roles in lately just to pick up a paycheck. He does not phone this role in. It's probably the best performance of Harrison Ford in the past maybe 10 years. He seems like he really enjoyed this part as Thaddeus Ross, and he really puts himself into it. Ross's transformation into the Red Hulk and the scenes that you do see the Red Hulk, it's a very small part of the movie, and Red Hulk is actually very underutilized in this movie. Really, this film is more so about the redemption of Thaddeus Ross than anything else. Ross is supposed to be a stand-in for Donald Trump. I mean, there's no way around it. That's what they were initially going for there, but they have substantially changed things. Anyway, overall, I mean, the movie was not bad. It's not like, oh, that's horrible. But at the same time, I would probably not watch this movie again. There is a cameo in the movie. Bucky does show up at one point in the movie. I'm not even for sure why he shows up. Sam Wilson's character, they made him now kind of the hero lecturer. He goes around and lecturing people. He did that a lot in the Disney Plus show, and he does it here, but then Bucky kind of shows up and he gives him a pep talk to make him feel better about himself. So those are my rambling thoughts about Captain America Brave New World. It was a ho-hum movie. It does not make me excited for anything else in the future to happen. There is an end credit scene, but it doesn't really tie into anything specific per se. It's just very vague the way things are, and there's no new characters introduced at the end. There's no like plot reveal or like something tying something up to the upcoming Secret Wars movie that they have or anything like that. You might enjoy it if you've seen all the other MCU films, which I have. I've seen them all. I've not seen all the TV shows, but I have seen all the MCU movies. On a grading scale from A+ to F, I would give this a C- overall. Verges on D+, but I will give it a C- because the performers do give it their all, but the story it's all over the place. So Captain America Brave New World. Have you seen Captain America Brave New World? What did you think? Let me know in the comments. Are you excited about Sam Wilson being the new Captain America? Are you even excited about the MCU? Let me know. This has been another rambling review from Adventures in TV Land. Until next time, that's a wrap.